My dear brothers and sisters, today we will learn a set of skills that are very necessary during this time of coronavirus. I've been teaching this set of skills for several years as I train Asian leaders, community leaders, police leaders, church leaders, but I've taught this as an additional and optional course. And at that time, when these few years that I've been teaching it, many people never really saw how important this set of skills are. But now, after the coronavirus, things have changed. I believe this set of skills are so necessary that you cannot be a leader without understanding this topic called Vuca. Alright, they are just a topic of 4 English letters. Letter V stands for volatile. Letter U stands for uncertain. Letter C stands for complicated. And letter A stands for ambiguous. So the 4 letters together, V, U, C, A, in English we pronounce it as Vuca. Right? Now this term was first actually invented by the United States Army in 1987. 1987 saw the collapse of the Soviet Union. Before that, America, Soviet Union, the army was always confronting one another. They had certain tactics, very clear tactics, because the enemy was very clear. It was the Soviet Union. But after the Soviet Union collapsed, the US Army said, hey, the next enemy that we will face will not be a traditional enemy like the Soviet Union, could be an enemy like terrorism. And we need to learn to train, how to train our generals, our officers, to be ready for a VUCA environment, right? So basically the term was invented by the US Army, and of course at the beginning of the 21st century, one of the things happened that shocked the world. We call it the World Trade Center attack, right? When planes were used by terrorists, normal planes used by terrorists to bang into the World Trade Center. That was the year 2001, just the beginning of the 21st century. And all of a sudden, it was a new kind of enemy. It was not an army. It was a typical, normal aeroplane. It didn't attack an army, 2 armies fighting. It attacked the center of America, the financial center of America, the World Trade Center. Alright? Now this enemy was totally unexpected. Alright? So the word VUCA comes from volatile. Volatile means it happens so fast. Right? So unexpected. Suddenly plane just came smash into the World Trade Center. 25,000 people were injured. Thousands died. And then America shook for a while. Right? Now, of course, the first letter was V, volatile. Volatile in English means sudden and unexpected. The second letter is uncertain. All of a sudden, the army didn't know, will there be another plane coming in? Will they get many other normal planes? And, you know, bang into this building and bang into that building. So instead of preparing this We don't know who the enemy is, uncertain. And then the next was, let us see, complicated. It's very complicated. There were so many factors to consider. Should we stop all travel because it could be used by the terrorists? All right. Should every building be ready for attack? Then, my goodness, everybody will be worried, you know. So many other factors came in. It's not like a war between two armies. It became very complicated. And then the last letter, A, means ambiguous. Ambiguous means there are no clear answers. Everybody gave an answer. The military said, do this. The tourism people said, you can't do this, right? The political leader said, if you do this, it will make this government angry. So it was nobody had an answer for that kind of attack, right? So you say, oh, that is war, nothing to do with me, all right? Then the business world began to realize we live in a Vuca world. Suddenly businesses realize the world is very Vuca. Sudden unexpected changes. For example, political leadership. All right? They were shocked. Okay, example, President Jokowi. Nobody expected him from the mayor of Solo to be next president of, then governor of Jakarta, and then suddenly president of Indonesia. Never before. Before they were always military or they came from political families. Suddenly this businessman, furniture business, became the president. It's volatile, sudden, unexpected. Who expected that? President Trump became the president of the biggest country, the most powerful country in the world. Who expected that? He has no political background, zero, never even been the mayor of a small town. Suddenly became president. That's volatile, all right? So, President Duterte in the Philippines, okay? Suddenly, from a mayor of a town far from Manila, became the president of the Philippines. Volatile, right? So businesses suddenly began to say, we better get ready for this volatile world, okay? And then, of course, climate change came in. Suddenly, tsunami. Nobody heard of tsunamis before. What is a tsunami, all right? And then all the weather goes crazy. Earthquakes everywhere. Bali, eruption. Tourism is like, what happened? Stopped all of a sudden. Never before like this, right? So businesses also said, we better learn, we need to know how to lead our businesses in a VUCA world. Volatile, uncertain, complicated, and ambiguous. All right? So let's look at the world you and I live in now. Don't talk about business, don't talk about war. Talk about the world we live in now. All of us, the whole world, not just the soldiers, not the business people, the whole world must understand. All right? Coronavirus came in sudden, unexpected. Nobody expected it. No doctors expected it. No scientists expected it. No Ministry of Health expected it. It just came like that. Who was prepared for it? Nobody. Why? It's sudden and unexpected. So that's called volatile. Right? Second word was uncertain. After it came in, nobody knows what's going to happen next. Will it go away after 3 months? In the beginning, when coronavirus came in, I was under the impression within 6 months, it's over. Most doctors expected that it will go over by the time July, June came. Bye-bye to coronavirus. Why? Because we don't have no idea how long this virus will last. Why? Because it's new. It's never happened before. Okay? Now, so when we don't know what this virus is so new, we have no experience of it. Will it last long or short? Right? Is it easy to make a vaccine against this virus or not? We don't know. It's a new virus. Even the vaccine makers don't know whether we can ever make a vaccination against this virus. Right? Everybody's uncertain. Can we make a vaccination? The people say, I don't know. I hope so. Will this virus go away? I don't know. I hope so. All uncertain. No certain answers. Okay? Will PIC work? I don't know. Why do you do it then? I don't know. Uncertain. We don't know how, whether it works. In some countries, it seems to work. In some countries, it doesn't seem to. Everybody's uncertain. No sure. Then it's complicated. Very complicated. Is it a medical problem? Yes, it is. But it's not only medical, it's economic problem. Because it affects the economy so badly. Alright? All economy is affected. So do you make a medical decision that PIC for 1 year? That's the safest. But how? The economy will collapse. All the businesses bankrupt. Is it just medical? Is it just economy? No, it's very complicated. It's educational. What about school? Do kids go to school or not? How long don't go to school? Don't know. Alright? If it's educational, then what do you do with the kids? It becomes social problem. They stay home, they get into trouble, right? They take narcoba because there's nothing to do. It becomes now social problem. Or then it becomes a tourism problem. If you do PIC a long time, right? Tourists cannot come in. It's a tourism problem. And then it is an international affairs problem. You stop people from Singapore coming. Singapore say, you don't let me go in, I don't let you come in. International. But most of all for us, it becomes a church problem. It's a big church problem now. Okay? It affects our attendance. It affects our offerings. It affects how our members are growing and maybe backsliding away from God. It's everything. It's complicated. All of it is like that. If you are President Jokowi and you want to make a decision regarding coronavirus, you don't just call the Ministry of Health, right? You have to call the Menteri Pendidikan, the Menteri Ekonomi, the Menteri of Tourism, all right? You have to call the Menteri of Agama. You have to call everybody because it is so complicated, all interconnected. And lastly, the letter A, ambiguous. That's an English word for no clear answer. At the end of President Jokowi's meeting, right, his head is saying, what is the right answer? This very good friend of mine, very pintar, his answer sounds good, but I'm not sure. This Ministry of Economy, very pintar, but his answer also, he's not sure, I'm also not sure whether that is the right answer. And so finally, when President Jokowi get advice from here, 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 everywhere you get advice, but in the end, no right answer. Everybody could be right and everybody could be wrong. That is called Vuca. Now, some people will say, Pa, this thing comes once, after a while, few years, maybe few months, go away. So no need to learn new skills, we just wait, Pa. Alright? This virus will go away. And you're correct, probably it will go away sometime, or maybe a vaccine will be invented, or some medicine will be invented, and no more problem. But we as pendetas, we realize this is not one pandemic, not one coronavirus. Because as a pendeta, I believe the Bible. And in my Bible, I read about something called the last days. Sometimes we call that end times. The Bible tells us just before Jesus comes back again, we are going to have some signs of this special time. Signs of the last days. And actually, I'm now doing a series, right? Some of you may be interested in this series, right, of podcasts on the signs of the last days or the end times. And I am convinced myself that we are living in the last days. I see it everywhere. I see earthquakes. I see volcanoes exploding. I see the temperature, the world climate is changing. Alright? I see all kinds of problems. Viruses that are just popping up. We had SARS, then we had Ebola, then we had MERS in the Middle East. Viruses that before didn't bother us much. Suddenly, wow, this virus comes and goes to so many countries. This virus, and then now we have coronavirus that goes to the whole world. Okay? So we see all kinds of changes happening, very new things that have never happened before, or very old things that happen in very often now, like earthquakes, right? And then we see families breaking down. We see divorce everywhere, all right? We see corruption everywhere. And then we begin to say, oh, maybe these are the signs of the last days. So if you're interested about the signs of the last days, please watch the podcast. It's a series. It will last many, many podcasts because the signs are very, very clear to me. So for me, the coronavirus is not just come and then bye-bye. After that, life goes back to normal. In the last days, many sudden, unexpected, brand new things we never saw before, like coronavirus, are going to come in. All right? Like a Donald Trump is going to come in and be the president of America. All right? These things are going to happen and become quite normal. What is very abnormal before, don't expect, now is very normal and very often and fast it comes, right? So if you believe the Bible, then you believe the last days are going to be like now. Vuca, volatile, uncertain. Don't know what's going to happen next. Complicated. I don't know what's happening around me. Where do I look for an answer? And after I get an answer, I'm not sure. Ambiguous. Is this the right thing to do? But I don't know. I hope so. But you are a leader. What do we do? I don't know. Wow. Usually our leaders have answers. Now, the president doesn't have an answer. He doesn't know. He just say, all right, PSBB, lockdown longer. They'll stop after 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, oh, sorry, another 2 weeks. Oh, sorry, you know, because he doesn't know what to do. So that's the situation we live in, okay? And I think we will continue to live in this situation because it is the last days. Now, what do we need to do? Now we understand the situation. Now, what skills do we need to be able to lead our people in this Vuca situation? So I have come up with what I call the counter Vuca skills, right? You have Vuca, which is the situation. Now we need the skills for this situation. It also is VUCA. V stands for vision. These are the skills you need. Vision. U stands for understanding. You need to have this skill to get understanding. Then C stands for courage. You need to have this skill. And lastly, A stands for adaptable. Okay? Now, let's look at the first one. We call it vision. What is vision? Vision is the ability to see ahead. All of us can see things around us. If you ask me about the coronavirus now, I can tell you, okay, Indonesia, how many cases, which place red zone, all right? I can tell you which church can buka, which masjid can buka. I can see these things. Now, vision is the ability, the skill to look at it ahead. Not what you see now. Everybody can see now, unless you're buta, right? Or unless you cannot read. If you can read, you know what's happening now, right? But vision is the ability to try to learn the skill of thinking ahead, seeing things ahead. Let me give you an example, right? If there is a traffic jam, maybe I'm driving from Medan to Siantar. There is a long traffic jam. Wow, what's happening? I don't know what's happening, all right? I can sit in the mobile and tunggu. Maybe I have to tunggu for 5 hours, maybe 20 minutes. I don't know, because I can only see macet, right? So what would I do, right? If I want to have a vision, right? I will probably stand on top of my mobile, right? And then try to look what's happening in front. Is it an accident? Is it a tree fell down? What happened? I'm trying to look. Or I can ask my friend who is very young and can run. I said, hey, why don't you run to the front and see what's happening? Okay, if it's a very long macet, then we can all sit down and makan lah, wait while we wait lah. Alright? Or we can have a meeting in the mobile, of course maybe 2 hours, right? But if it's only 20 minutes, then no need. So I want to be able to see the situasi, how long will I be in this macet, right? Now, we need to learn this skill of trying to think ahead. Okay? We say now we have coronavirus. Now churches are tutup, right? Let's say the government says can buka the church. I want to think, right? Can buka. What will my church look like after it buka? Government will probably say not so many people can go inside. Maybe need 2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters, everyone. So I have to think. If 2 meters here, 2 meters belakang, 2 meters side, that means my church before can sit 300 people. Now maybe can sit 50 people. Okay, so I'm thinking. Picture. Vision. Right? Next question. Who will come? 50 people will come. Oh, all the orang tua maybe won't come, because orang tua, when they get sick, very serious. So maybe orang tua would come, okay? So all the orang tua, no more coming. Okay. And then all those younger, maybe from 40 years old and 30 years old, bawah, they got small children, anak-anak going to Sunday school. I think they takut the Sunday school because too many kids in Sunday school. I think also they won't come. Okay. So orang tua no more, the 35, 40 and under no more. So siapa? Oh, only the 40 to 50 year old maybe, or 30 to 35 to 45 only. Oh, so even though 50 people can come, but actually many will not come. Okay, so I have to think like this. What about my Sunday school? No more anak, huh? Oh, okay. If there's no anak, then how? Alright, do I tutup the Sunday school? Do I start to think of how to make internet Sunday school, YouTube Sunday school, Facebook Live? I have to think. I have to thinking. Alright? Okay. What about if the people don't come? How's my offerings? Oh, the orang tua are the one with the money. Okay, they sudah ada business, they got wang. The younger ones, you know, probably who can come, maybe no money. Those 40 to 50 years old can come. 40 to 50 years old, anak-anak dia all in Bandung studying, in Medan studying. All their money is to finance the kids. So they won't have any money to give to offering because it's not cheap to put anak in Jakarta or Bandung or Jogja. Oh, okay. I have to start thinking ahead. I have to look with binoculars ahead. What's going to happen? Right? So that's called, you need to have vision. To see jauh sikit. To see what will happen. Okay? Now, many of us do not think that way. We don't. We just look at the situation now. Say, hey, after that, church will buka, then people will come. Yeah, green already, green zone, boleh buka already. Everybody can come to church. Really? Will everybody come? Right? So you need to think all these things. Right? Maybe they fear. Maybe transportasi pun susah because angkut cannot be so many people inside, you know. Then you have to think. Let's say one person gets sakit in your church. How? And then how? Many in your members tak ada jobs now. How? How to help? Alright? You have to start thinking ahead, not now. The problem is not now. Alright? Today's problem, everybody knows. Tomorrow's problem, only people with vision can see the problem. So you need to practice using binoculars to see jauh sikit. Right? Leaders must always, let's say you are a military leader, you want to fight the other side. You need binoculars to see, oh, enemy di mana, where to go, right? We as leaders need vision. Okay? Second, we need to understand. Letter U. Alright? Now, right now, it's a virus. Do you understand about virus? No. I didn't study virus in school. So, what do? Study now. Understand now. Go to internet. Check what is virus. What is the difference between virus, bacteria? Alright? Learn. Internet. Understand. You cannot be in this situation if you don't understand. You cannot look far because you have no understanding how a virus behaves. Will a virus spread? Alright? Is there antibiotic for virus? No. Has there been many vaccinations for virus? No. So far, no, not many. HIV, how many years? 30, 40 years virus. Sampai sekarang, no vaccinasi. Virus, very hard to make vaccinasi, okay? So all this you need to understand. If you don't understand, you say, oh, don't worry, vaccination will come. Right? Don't worry, we can beli antibiotic. Don't worry, we makan vitamin C, the virus will mati. No, no, no. Alright? You have to understand, okay, that a virus can just spread, right? And we have no protection against it, except face mask, jauh sikit, wash tangan. That's all. Only 3 things we have. So you need to understand, right? So you have vision, and your vision gets better when your understanding improves. So you need the skill of learning. Okay? And today, in the 21st century, learning is very much easier than before. Before, you need to go to the university to learn. Today, you need to go to your cell phone to learn. Okay? You can go to Google. In English, I learned many new things from Google, right? What is virus? Difference between virus, bacteria. Can antibiotic work for virus? I put in my phone and I get. Alright? Vaccination for virus. Are there vaccines for virus? Oh, very few. Oh, okay. I can understand because I have informasi. Alright? And information today is available. Not just for university students, not for S3 people, for anybody who wants to learn. Okay? So you must be someone who has more and more understanding as a leader. I can tell you this. President Jokowi has been reading on virus. I guarantee you that. He has been reading on vaccinations. He's been reading on spread of virus. He's been reading on different types of face masks. I guarantee you that. Because he's a good leader. And a good leader must have understanding. Now, his business, furniture, is very far from medical. It's very far from international affairs, economy, pendidikan. But he can make decisions because he understands. Because he is a man with vision. I always say, President Jokowi, I respect him very highly because he has vision. Many people say, Pak, why do you say President Jokowi has vision? You know, he appointed as Menteri Pendidikan Nadiem Makarim. Nadiem Makarim is not a person from pendidikan. He's a person from technology. Why did he appoint him? Because President Jokowi has something called vision. He realized technology is going to be very important in education. And he also made Nadiem Makarim Menteri for Culture, Budaya. Why? Because in Indonesia, it's so many groups, so many religions. How can you get all the people to look up to Constitution of Indonesia, the culture, Indonesian mind, not my religion, your religion, my group, your group. Technology. He had vision, right? So I'm sure he also has understanding. He's a leader. What about you? Number 3, he has courage. What's courage? You think differently, you're willing to think differently, and act differently. People are going to say a lot of things about you. Huh? Why did you choose Nadiem Makarim to be Menteri Pendidikan? He knows nothing about Pendidikan. He has no S2 in Pendidikan, S3 in Pendidikan. No. He wasn't even educated in Indonesia. He was educated in Singapore, United States. How can he be the Menteri Pendidikan? Menteri Culture? How come? He cannot be. That's courage. To appoint someone like that, who is very different. You get a lot of people say, no, that's wrong. But he says, I will do it. Okay? Now, not many people have courage to make a decision that is different. Most of us would want to make a decision that everybody agrees. Agree? Okay, we make that decision. But in Vuca's situation, when the world is so many things, you need to have courage to make the best decision, not the safe decision. Safe decision is good when the situation is stable. Never change. Just follow it before. Follow tradisi. It's okay. Yeah, it's worked for us for 200 years. But the last 200 years and now is very different. Because it's last days. And we need different types of leaders for the last days. Men with courage to make the necessary changes. I can tell you as pendetas, we lack such leaders. Right? We lack such leaders. Lastly, the A is adaptable. After you make the change, you may have to make another change. Maybe you make all these decisions for coronavirus. Suddenly, the virus disappears. I don't know why. We don't know. This is a new virus. Maybe one day it will just disappear. Straight away, are you able to make a new decision? Or maybe the cheap, successful, safe vaccination comes up. All your planning, you have to change now because now there's a vaccination. Very simple. Just put in your mouth and it works. All your planning have to balik again. Quickly. Last days, you need people who are adaptable. Can change and change and need to change again and change again. They're saying, what to do? We have to. Alright? Now for many of us, when we make a plan, very nice, cantik-cantik, yeah, we don't want to change it. Alright? So I hope you see that if you want to be a leader in the Vuca world, you need counter, anti-Vuca skills. How's your vision? Are you already picturing in your mind what your church will be like? Are you picturing in your mind what your Bible school will be like? Are you picturing in your mind how your members are going to struggle the next few years? Vision. Is that inside your mind already? Do you have understanding of viruses, of economy, of leadership skills? Or you say, oh, I was trained in Bible school. I have S3. S3 in a new situation, maybe S0. Because everything you learn may not be applicable anymore. Okay? Do you have courage to make decisions that are right, but others have not yet seen. Okay? And lastly, are you adaptable? Can you change? Like that. And then like that again. And next week, change again. Can you do that? Alright? If you can't, if you don't have these 4 skills, you will not be able to lead effectively. You will be confused. Your ministry will collapse. It will go bankrupt spiritually and economically, right? And you will be bankrupt emotionally, depressed and discouraged. So I hope that these are things that you will try to look at, right? And we can discuss how we can improve our vision, understanding, our courage, and our ability to adapt quickly. May God bless you. May you turn this Vuca world in which you live to be the best days for your ministry and your life. I can say this for myself. Vuca has been very hard on many people, but Vuca has opened doors for me to reach communities, to reach people, to reach numbers that I have never reached before. Not by little bit, but like that. Way, way more than before. So, Vuca can be a danger, Vuca world, or it can be an opportunity. But whether you like it or not, it is a reality. The last days, I believe, are here. May God bless you all to be better leaders for Jesus Christ. God bless you.